Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Carrie and this is my first YouTube tutorial. So if you want to see how I created this rose gold cut crease makeup look, then just keep watching. So starting with a nice clean base, I'm just going in with the Olay 2-in-1 Firm and Lift Serum. I'm just going to start applying that to the top section of my face because I'm going to move on to the bottom once I finish the eyes. So I just want to make sure this top half is ready for makeup. After that I'm going to go in with the 2-in-1 Firm and Lift Hydration Primer. Apply that in the same areas. Then I'm going to be mixing the Lumi Primer with the Maybelline Superstay, and I'm in the shades Warm Sun and Light Beige mixed together. I like to customise my own shade when I self tan, that way as my tan fades I can change the shade of my foundation. So I'm just dotting that all over. Then I'm going to blend it out using the Miracle Complexion Sponge by Real Techniques. And using a spoolie, I'm just brushing my brow hairs up and into place, ready to apply my brow products. I'm going in with the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette and I'm using the shade Warm Taupe. Now I just spray my eyebrow with plain water. It helps the shadows stick. Now there's no rule that says that you can't use an eyeshadow as an eyebrow product. I mean, I do because it matches my hair colour rather well, I would say. So I start by defining the tail of the brow, extending it slightly as mine seem to fall short. Then I go and I work on the arch of the brow. As you can see, I'll come a wee bit closer. I've got some hairs missing there, but that's where my natural arch would lie if I hadn't plucked the life out of them when I was younger. So then I just underline the front of the brow. I don't really put a lot of product in the front of my brow because I mean I do have quite a lot of hairs there at the front, so I don't want it to look blocky, and if I add too much in then it gets very blocky very fast. So then just using the spoolie I soften up the line that I've just put there, brushing my brow hairs up and making sure that all the shadow is blended in nicely. So then I'm going to go in with the Collection Concealer in the shade Lemon, and I'm just going to use this to tidy up the brow. And I'm just using a flat concealer brush. This brush doesn't have a name, I'm afraid, it's just one that I got out of an eBay set. So I like to set my brows using some transparent soap. I just spray a little bit of water onto the soap bar and I rub my spoolie in, makes it into a little paste. Then I take this and I put it through the brows, brushing them back first. This gives it something to stick to when I push them up onto my skin. I find brow gel just isn't strong enough to hold my brows, whereas this holds them in place nicely. And I just do that to both brows, making sure they're even. So now I'm just going in with the Makeup Revolution concealer in the shade C1, and I'm just priming the rest of my eyelids using this concealer. So I'm going to set that concealer using the Maybelline Matte Maker in the shade Classic Ivory. I'm using the Jaclyn Morphe palette today, and the first shade I'm going in with is Silk Cream, and I'm taking that on an M513 blending brush. And I'm just going to start lightly applying that in my transition area. Now that's any area from my eyelid up to my brow bone. So the next shade I'm going in with is Creamsicle and Butter, and I'm taking that just on the same brush. So I'm not taking this shade as high as I took the first shade, I'm keeping it again down towards where my crease is. And I'm starting by lightly blending it from the outer corner into the inner corner. I'm just using very light pressure on my brush. It helps get a nicer blend, and I'm winging this out slightly too. So now I'm going in with the shade Pukey, and I'm going in with a Morphe M514 blending brush. This brush is similar to the brush we just used, it's just on a smaller scale. So now I'm going in with the shade Hunts on the same brush, and again I'm just using a small amount of product, tapping off the excess and starting right in at the crease, right on the outer corner, and lightly buffing it in towards the inner corner of my eye. So I'm using the bigger fluffier brush that we used before to blend that out. Now I'm going in with the shade Jax, and I'm using that on an M506 blending brush. This is just a tiny brush, and again I'm using very minimal product here because this can go so wrong so quickly if you're not careful. So I'm keeping this lower than before and slightly buffing this from the outer corner and bringing it in towards the inner corner. And the final blend using the E27 by Morphe. So now I'm going in with a makeup remover wipe, and I'm just slightly cleaning up where I'm going to cut the crease. Now I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution concealer in the shade C1, and I'm going to use this to cut the crease using the same flat concealer brushes I used before. And I'm going to slowly carve it out, and I'm going to take my time. So now I'm going in with the shade Little Lady on just that same flat concealer brush, and I'm just going to pat it on right up to that cut crease that we've made. So now I'm going in with the shade Firework. So I wet my brush because it wasn't as intense as I wanted it to be, and then went back in just with the same shade just to build that colour up. So I'm just cleaning up any fallout that's come onto my cheeks from that eyeshadow, and then I'm going to apply the Olay 2-in-1 Smoothing Serum. I'm also going back in with the Olay 2-in-1 hydration primer and putting this on too. So now I'm going to dot the foundation on my face, just the same combo as I used at the beginning. And I'm going to blend this in with my Miracle Complexion sponge. So now I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution concealer in the shade C1, and I'm going to put this underneath my eyes. Now I'm putting it down the centre of my face. I just want to balance out the under eye. It will look a bit silly if I've just got, you know, bright under eyes and the centre of my face is still a lot darker. So now I'm going to set that with the Maybelline Matte Maker again. Just making sure there's no creases under my eyes. If you go ahead and put powder on and there's creases there, you're just going to make the creases stay, they won't budge. So make sure you smooth out your under eye before you go in and set it with powder. And I'm also setting the centre of my face with that same powder. So now I'm going in with the Real Techniques powder brush and I'm just going to set the rest of my face. So now I'm using the Colour Fix 2 palette from Technic to contour with. And I'm going in with this shade down here. And I'm using a tulip shaped brush. Sorry, I don't have a name for this. Again, it's from the same set off eBay. But you can see where I'm placing it here. Where you place it is really going to depend on where your cheekbones are and where you want your cheekbones to be. I bring mine up a little bit just to give the illusion that I have higher cheekbones than I actually have. Then I'm going in with the Maybelline Master Sculpt in the shade Light Medium. This is actually for contour, but I quite like it for bronzing because it's not too dark, it's not too orange or red toned. It's nice, I like it. So now I'm going in with the Mary Luminizer by the Balm and I'm taking this in R12 highlighting fan brush. And I'm going to place this on the high points of my cheeks and really blend it in. Also add a wee bit above the arch of my brow. Anywhere that would catch the light, if it was shining, that's where I like to put it back on. Also put a little bit on my chin. Now this is actually a nail art brush, but I think it's really good for fine highlighting, so I use that down the centre of my nose. Tiny little bit on the tip. And then I take some and I put it along, what do you call that, the philtrum? You know, the wee lines that go from your cupid's bow up to your nostril. And then I'll get the cupid's bow as well. And then just making sure I've got right at the arch of the brow. So now I'm going in with the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso, and I'm using the Real Techniques blush brush for this. So now I'm going to set that using the Revolution Fixing Spray. It's the illuminating one. I just spread this all over, then taking the foundation off my lips And now I'm going in with the Glam crystals by Collection, and I just thought that there wasn't enough contrast between the crease shade and, you know, the lid shade, so I'm just adding a little line, you know, between the two. And you know, this gold glitter, I think it really complemented the look, and I'm glad I put it in the end because I wasn't planning on it. So now I'm using the Lancome art liner, and this is the fun part. I hate liner. I'm still getting used to liner. Liner hates me. I hate liner, and a lot of the time I leave it out because I'm atrocious at applying liner, especially a winged liner. But if I don't start practicing, I'm not going to get better, and believe it or not, I am a little bit better than when I first started, and that's down to practice. So if I keep at it, then hopefully I'll get better. I went on to the Rimmel Scandaleyes gel liner, and I'm going to use this to tightline. So I'm not going to put any falsies on today, so I'm just going to curl my lashes, and I'm going in with the L'Oreal Lash Extatic mascara. So now I'm going in with these two shades here, and I'm going in with an M321 crease brush, and I'm just applying that to the lower lash line. Gradually building it up. So now I'm going to go in with a small smudging brush and this black in the palette. Sorry, I don't have a name for this smudging brush either. Any smudger brush will do. I'm just running this along the roots of my lower lashes to kind of smoke out that lower lash line slightly. Meeting it up to where I put the gel liner and just smudging it through, softening it out as I go. Now I'm taking a clean Zoeva 227 brush. There's nothing on this. I'm just going to use this to diffuse that lower lash line, really soften it out. I don't want it to look too harsh. Then I'm going in with Beam, and I'm taking that on an E36 detail crease brush, and I'm just going to put this in the inner corners to highlight them. I'm also going to put this shade up onto my brow bone. This really makes it pop, as you can see. Make sure to blend it out. Now I'm just going to put some mascara on my lower lashes. So now I'm going in with the NYX Lip Lingerie in the shade Bustier, and I'm just going to apply that to my lips. And then going in with the Benefit Sugar Bomb lip gloss, I'm just going to put that over top. And here's the finished look, you guys. If you liked this video, please be sure to like, thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and leave a comment in the comment section down below of any looks you would like me to do next. Thanks, bye!